Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to wherever you are in the world right now. We thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us at ICFB STAR Entertainment. Today we're very fortunate to have singer-songwriter Rachel Dara from Quebec, Canada, to talk to us today about her music career. And so we really welcome you to the show, Rachel. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tara and fearescape. I really, really appreciate it.
No, you're more than welcome. So we're going to ask you a bunch of questions today, and our goal is to kind of figure out and learn more about your journey in music, but also we want to know a little bit more about Rachel and what entertains you. So I'm looking forward to this interview and getting to know you a little bit better.
Thank you. I am as
You're
well.
welcome. So first question, obvious question, is how did you get started in music?
Well, I always had a connection to music growing up. I didn't grow up in a very musical household. My parents both aren't musicians, but are very passionate about listening to music. And the first genre of music I was introduced to was opera and classical music. And I was not able to fall asleep without hearing opera music being played on a CD player. My mom and my grandmother used to play that for me. And I used to listen to artists like Jackie Evancho and Andrea Bocelli when I was about 4 years old. Sarah McLachlan as well. I recently realized that she was on that list too. And as I got older, I realized just how much I loved pop music. And Katy Perry was like my first ever introduction to pop music. And that's what really got me into knowing that I love this. I love music. I just dream of doing this. And eventually, when I was about 6 years old, I was introduced to Alvin and the Chipmunks. You know those chipmunks in the movie sequel?
I love those guys.
Yeah, so they had a movie where they talked about songwriting. And that's how I found out that that's how music is made. You have to write the songs, you have to come up with the songs. And I tried doing it by myself for the first time, and it didn't really work out that great. But years later, I picked up the guitar. I had asked for guitar lessons for my ninth birthday. And at that same time, that same year, when I was at day camp with a bunch of other kids, there was a songwriting instructor who came in to do like a little workshop with us on songwriting. And I wrote my first ever song there. It was called Chance. And at that point as well, I'd taken 5 guitar lessons. And then I found out that my guitar teacher was going on tour. So at that point, I started teaching myself how to play guitar. And I taught myself how to play the ukulele. And I kept writing. I kept practicing. I took every single opportunity in my elementary school to perform, and that that's what made me what I am now. That's what gave me the introduction to being on the stage, all those elementary school plays. I also I was an actor growing up. I started off in the acting scene. I had told my parents that I wanted to be quote unquote famous like Justin Bieber, but they didn't realize that I was talking about being a musician. And they put me in acting school, and I fell in love with acting. And I grew up being in plays and constantly being in acting class and doing theater. And then I got into music later on.
Nice.
Thank you.
So that sounds like a fun journey. Acting first and then music second.
Yeah,
And it seems to fit because then you can act the role of the song, right?
that's it. And as a songwriter, I have to do that a lot.
Hmm, for sure. What is your biggest passion about the music industry?
About the music industry, well, putting aside the music industry, I would just say the passion is the music. It
Yeah,
comes from the music. It comes
yeah.
from just creating but it's also connecting with other people, with other artists. Like I'm sitting here with Fear Escape, Marco, who, we're both musicians and I've listened to his music and I find it fascinating. And here I get to see him face to face and we get to talk and I get to talk to you as well. And I really, really enjoy your music and we get to
Oh,
talk
thank
about
you.
our journeys. And, you know,
Well, sharing is caring, right?
that's one of the best things about the music industry is, there's some parts of it that aren't that great, but there's other parts where you can share and you can be generous and also just connecting with the people who really enjoy it.
100%. Where do you see your music going? So you've talked about how much you love this songwriting. What is the vision that you have for your own musical adventure? Is it
I'm a performer, so I'm just gonna keep performing and I'm gonna see where it takes me. But I will tell you that I have dreamed of going on tour, and not only going on tour just to do it, going on tour because people want to hear my music, not because I want to go on tour. I want to be an artist who goes on tour because people want to listen. That's a dream that I've always had. I have some venues that I I've always wanted to play at, and in my mind, like if I ever go on tour, that's when I'll be a real artist. That's what I tell myself, which is not the nicest thing to tell myself, but it's definitely motivation to keep on going with what I'm doing. And not that people who don't tour are not real artists, but it's my way of motivating myself to get to the place that I've always dreamed of being.
the big lights?
That's exactly it.
Yeah. We all dream about the big lights
We all dream of big lights. I
and
tell
having
them
people that want to see us. It's an amazing, amazing idea. Yes, definitely. So,
that's it.
what is the secret that you use when you create your songs or your music? Like, how do you go about that? Do you start with
I
the
have to
lyrics
be
first, or
I have to be
the
completely
music?
alone. I cannot write songs in front of people. I cannot have people there. It feels too like personal when people are watching me write music. But I think it depends on the song. If I have an idea that I feel like is more of a melodic song, I'll start with playing guitar. If I have or whatever instrumental I'm doing. But if I want lyrics, then I guess I'll start with lyrics. But I have a better track record of starting with the melody than starting with the lyrics. I usually get thrown off if I start with lyrics. What about you?
Me?
Yes.
These lyrics, they come into my head and they wake me up in the middle of the night, or they stop me on the side of the road. I wrote one song, "Kiss Me Quiet,"
I
and
know that's yeah.
yeah, thank you. And I literally I drove for like 5 minutes and I pulled over, and I drove for 5 minutes and I pulled over, and it actually it started with a conversation of a man that I was seeing at the time, and we were having a conversation. He's like, what am I gonna do with you? I said, I don't know, kiss me quiet.
Yeah.
And the conversation stopped at that moment. I said, my line, I'm using it. If you want to be part of the song, that's fine, but this is my song.
That is your song. Don't let anyone take your music away from you. When you're
100%.
creating, that's you're doing.
Yeah, and then I just have a moment when I'm in my truck. I'm driving. That's when I get the best lyrics. And I'm like, I hope I don't get those lyrics in the middle of like rush hour. And if I do, I I hit the record button on my cell phone or send myself a text message with a lyric while I'm driving.
That too. I do that too.
But these lyrics, they flood my mind, and I cannot do anything until they come out and on paper. I have to stop, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of my favorite experiences, I did this massive meditation, and then I just free wrote a song afterwards, and the lyrics that came out were really pretty.
Wow.
So that song hasn't been released yet.
That is really pretty.
Yeah.
That is beautiful that you were able to have that experience, and I hope that you release that song because I'm sure it's a great one.
Well, I hope it's going to be a good one. Mariko wrote the music, and I listened to the music, and I meditated and came up with some lyrics.
Wow. Well, you'd make a great duo together because Mariko just like the music that you know music and you know lyrics, and you combine that together and it could just make something great.
Well, that's the whole thing, and you hit on something that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to work with other artists.
Yeah, 100%.
It changes the flavor of your song quite a bit.
It does.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah. So the secret of music seems to be something like passion and an idea. And I don't know, when I write a song, it's almost like having a new life of that song.
That's basically what it is. It is life. Music is
it is life. Somebody told me I should stop, and I'm like, how?
And it's not your job to make, being in the entertainment industry, it is your job to make your job to make other people happy, but it's not about that. It's about doing what you want to do. It's about going the direction that you want to go.
And sometimes it's about making people feel sad too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, sad songs say so much, as Elton John would say.
That's true. It's about making people feel.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter how.
It's about reconnecting people with their feelings through music, wouldn't you say?
That's it.
There you go. I love Elton John's quote. He once said on an award show, he says, "I don't understand what the genre is about pop music." He says, "Either you're popular or you're not."
That's it. There's no genre. It's just about pop music.
Right? And it was like, oh, yeah, that's it.
That's one way to put it with pop, because there's so many artists being labeled as pop artists, but they don't sound mainstream, but they're still popular, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, and then there's that new one that comes in and you're like, wow, that's a cool sound. I never would have. So it's really encouraging because we're living in a time in which, you know, you don't have to have a sequence of particular chords to get on a radio.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
So what would you consider to be your greatest success in your music career so far?
My greatest success, I'd say in the past year, I've grown locally significantly as an artist because of everything that I've been putting myself out there. This started about a year and a half ago when I started accepting every opportunity I was offered. I just started taking every opportunity I can get. And at that point, I ended up discovering, or people discovered me, which I never thought I'd be able to say. And through those people, these people through word of mouth help book me shows. And usually it's me reaching out to people, can I play here? And it's like I'm playing for free. But I didn't really become, I'm going to say it again, a quote unquote real artist, because in my mind there's so many components that makes you an artist, but I can only give myself the satisfaction if I call myself real. But that's just how I view it. That's everyone's on their own journey when it comes to being an artist, and there's no standards for anybody else. I'm just very hard on myself. But basically I just started taking every opportunity I can get. I started working with different people, and I started playing festivals, which I've never done before. And I never thought I'd be playing festivals. You know, I always wanted to do things, but I never thought I'd get to those points. And I just felt like people, and I'm going to say it again, people considered me to be a real artist. And I think because of that, I started feeling like an artist for the first time in my life. And it's just been such a great journey, and I'm very grateful, seriously, very grateful that I have these opportunities, but I still can't believe it. It's been a lot of hard work. You know, I've never played so many gigs in my life. I had 24 shows booked this summer. And
Wow.
yeah, it's I'm really, really happy that this is happening.
Nice.
And this summer and last summer, I started playing in the US. I'm an American citizen as well, so it
Oh, wow.
helps open up my it helps open up my reach. And I've been playing shows in the US recently, and you know, people see me as an artist, and I feel like recently I've been treated with a lot more respect than I have ever in the music industry. And you know, I've had people in the past who have taken advantage of the fact that I'm young and naive, in the sense where like promised me things but didn't return those promises. And one thing I learned about being in the music industry is that when you're inexperienced, that's going to happen to you a lot. And it's the experience that opens you up to knowing what like the true musicianship is. It's everyone's in it together. It's not everyone's in it for themselves. And I've really felt a unity working in the Montreal music scene recently. Everyone is connected, everyone is united, and hey, that's what makes you a real artist, being connected with other people.
Well, and everybody's at a different stage of their development in their career as well in the music industry. So when you are part of a music scene, such as in Montreal, you never know that that person that was sitting over there might not do something wonderful for you when they've got that experience themselves behind them to be able to offer to you too. So it's
That's
important
it.
important to stick true to your team too, right? Because
That's true.
the team that got you there is the team that will be there for you, right?
Exactly. The team that started out for you in the beginning and
Mm-hmm.
genuinely wanted to see your success is the team
Mm-hmm.
that will be there until the end. And that's something I've learned. There are people
Especially,
who do things just to do things, and
right.
there's other people who do it to earn money.
Hmm.
And looking back on the past 6 years where I've been an artist, I'm able to differentiate the good and the bad, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I've gotten to that point.
Well, and it's important to develop a real audience, not just a numbers game. You
It's not,
know, it's not a numbers game. You have to have quality people following you and quality audience coming and seeing your shows and buying your music and
exactly.
getting to that point is a real journey. It really is. And so I congratulate you for everything that you've done. But you've also had an exceptional person behind you, I think.
My dad.
Yes.
He's definitely helped me out in the sense where he's always, and I appreciate the congratulations, thank you. And I wanted to return that congratulations because I see that you've been working hard and that your social media is going bam, 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 bam. And I'm inspired to keep working on my social media from you. I have been working on my social media recently. I've been much more consistent with it and I've been keeping it short, like how you suggested. But
Popcorn. Popcorn.
exactly.
Here we
But
are.
going back to my dad works in marketing. So when
Mm,
I started making music, he did not know anything about the music industry. Neither did I. And we basically learned together. And because he's into marketing, he realized it will be a good opportunity to help artists market themselves. And he learned a bit how that works. And he's been
mhm.
helping other artists out now, which super cool. We joked about it. We said it feels like reverse nepotism. But yeah, I'm very grateful that my dad has been by my side to help me out and have my back, and we're learning together. And
Mhm.
um, it's still like, we're learning together, but there's parts where, he has my back, and I sometimes miss that because those are life cues that I don't know, and that's him being a dad. And I'm very glad that I have someone here to make sure that I'm making okay decisions.
Yeah. Well, you've got a really good, strong network at Big Records, and
I'm very glad to hear that.
we all adore you, Rachel, and we all want to see you do very, very, very well. And
The feeling is mutual. Thank
absolutely.
you.
But your dad has helped all of us artists, and we really appreciate him, Jason. We also really appreciate the gentleman that's booking you as well, Grace Musicians.
I
He's
wanted to
amazing.
talk about him. I'm
Yeah,
actually I'm wearing a Hold Down Upstate shirt
nice.
from um upstate New York. So Hold Down
Nice.
Upstate is basically the community organization that helps amplify the music scene in Watertown. But Brian Fagan from Grace Musicians Group has been such a huge not only supporter of mine, but he's just helped put me out there in a scene that I've just never been involved in. And I'm grateful that he's been doing that because, hey, he didn't know me from a hole in the wall. I was just like a 16-year-old girl on the internet, and he still believed in me, and he still gave me these opportunities to learn and to perform. And in the past 2 years, like I said, I've learned more about musicianship and about performing than and about life than I have in my entire life. And I'm going to thank Brian for that because he's given me those opportunities to learn as well. And I also, one thing I learned is like I have to listen to people if I want to grow. Like, it's important when people are talking about their experiences that I learn from other people's experiences because I feel like if I wasn't listening to it, I wouldn't be growing. I wouldn't be learning. I wouldn't be doing more things and achieving more. It's about listening. And I've
100.
been doing my best to listen to Brian, and I'm grateful that he's given me the opportunity to listen to him because not everybody has that. And
Mhm.
he really, really is holding up the upstate New York music scene. And he's working with people like Sydney Irving and Cooper Greer, who I've met both of them. I've opened for Sydney Irving, I've opened for Cooper Greer, and it was just so great getting to meet these artists and watching, like, when I first played with Sydney, this was a year and a half ago. He pointed to Sydney and he said, "You see that? That's going to be you in 3 years." And that made me think about a lot because in my mind, Sydney is like this huge, accomplished artist who plays with a band and is like extremely professional. And I was like, how is that going to be me in 3 years? But at this point, I have a band. I started a band in February, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been learning more about equipment, and I've been performing more, and um, I'm like so in awe by what Sydney is doing, and it inspires me to keep growing as an artist. Seriously, she's so great.
Nice. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your personal journey with us, and and it's really, I think it's a special thing that you've got your dad so involved because you've always got somebody that is there to talk to you about things, and that's just, I see that relationship, and I'm just like, oh, you're so lucky. That's
Thank you.
it's so
I do
wonderful.
appreciate it.
Okay, so now we're gonna switch away from music. We're gonna talk about what entertains you, Rachel.
Sure, I'm
About
excited.
you as a person, not just a musician. Who is this Rachel chick I got on the line with me? All right. So which languages do you speak?
I speak English and French
Mm-hmm.
fluently.
And do you have any songs in Francais?
I sing a lot of cover songs in French, but I haven't exactly written a song in French, but I have translated my English music into French. I'm not sure if you know my song 18, my first ever single,
Yes.
but of that song.
That's a
I have
beautiful
a song,
song.
thank you. And I sing it live in French sometimes, depending on the show I'm playing.
I wonder how Rich Love would come out in French because
That
that's a
would be
great.
funny.
Yeah.
Rich Love, it may be in English, but it definitely is
A French.
Quebec inspired. I make a reference to Gibby's. Gibby's is a very, very famous restaurant in Montreal. Very expensive, very famous restaurant. But yeah,
Mhm. Well, they're always looking for French content in Canada, eh?
it's a good point.
All right. Where have you lived in the world? Have you lived only in Canada, or have you traveled around at all, or?
I was born and raised in Montreal. I am
Mm-hmm.
an American citizen because my dad's American,
Okay.
and my grandfather is American, so I got my American citizenship through there.
Yeah.
But born and raised in Montreal, I've lived. I've been living in this home with my family since I was 5 years old. But before that, I lived in another home, and before that, I lived in another home, and before that, I
Mm-hmm.
lived with my grandmother for a bit. So, um, I moved around a little bit when I was younger, when I was like really, really young. But otherwise, I this is this house that I'm living in is my home.
Nice. Nice. And that's pretty special to have had the opportunity to have lived with your grandma.
Yes, that was great. I was really young, so I don't really remember much. But for the first few, I think 4 months of my life, that's where I lived. And then my mom, my dad, and I moved into a house about 30 minutes away from where I am now.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And then
grandma.
moved to another house. And then moved into this house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna watch film. Are you gonna turn the TV on and kick back at home, or are you gonna go to a theater?
I love theaters. I'd probably go to a theater. But every time I go to a theater, I see somebody I know and I'm like, because it's usually someone I went to high school with. It's not someone who I really want to say, "Hi, how are you?" It's always someone from high school.
Oh, well, those are good days, seeing those
Yeah,
people in high school.
depends on the people.
Well,
Depends on the
when you get to my age, yeah, they show up in the strangest places sometimes, those
That's
people
it.
from high school.
It's always a movie theater, but hey, like
And there
I'm
you
just
go.
there to enjoy the movie.
I'd
Sometimes I
rather,
see great people from high school. Sometimes I
I'd
see
rather
them.
meet them in a movie theater than a hospital, just saying, right? You
That's
know?
true. I gotta love them. They're great. I just went to one. I saw Superman with my dad recently. I
Uh-huh.
grew up watching DC, like, and my dad was a huge comic book fanatic, and I'm a huge DC fan. So growing up, I was super into Superman, and just the whole Justice League. I was very, very enamored by. Like, I was so in my own little world about them. Marco,
Yeah,
who's your favorite superhero?
he's just
I don't know
behind
if
the
you
scenes.
heard.
No.
He's just behind the scenes.
My favorite superhero was always Wonder Woman.
Oh, she's cool. That's
I
my
love
mom's
her.
Facebook profile is Wonder Woman.
Yeah, yeah, because she would just twirl around and then magic would begin, right? She'd
Yeah,
beat up the bad guys, she'd save the good guys, and she was always so strong.
that's it.
She's quiet, strong, stealthy, right?
She is exactly that.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to music, who's your favorite genre? Because we talked a little bit about pop and we kind of go, what is pop
I'm gonna
anyways?
shock you. I'm
Who?
going to shock you. My
Okay.
two favorite genres are R&B and grunge.
I love grunge.
Yeah,
Nirvana smells like Teen
Nirvana.
Spirit.
Well, that's super cool. I've been super into Alice in Chains recently.
Oh yeah,
They're so good. Nirvana as well. They're great. But
yeah,
I listen to a lot of R&B. That's kind of what fuels my music. When I want to listen to something that makes me
yeah.
happy, it's gonna be R&B. That
Well,
like I listen to
Econo.
so much R&B.
Do you remember Econoline Crush?
I'm not sure. I don't think
Oh,
so.
they're here from Vancouver. I'm friends with their guitarist. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah,
That's super cool.
yeah. I know, right? It's kind of a crazy small world when you
It is
know.
a
Oh
small.
yeah, I know that person. I know that person, right?
Yeah, that is cool. A lot of
Yeah.
the stuff I listen to is like very modern R&B, but I do listen to some 90s stuff. Like I like Erykah Badu and I like
Uh-huh.
Sade.
Oh,
And
I love Sade. Who doesn't love
yeah,
Sade?
she's so
Oh,
good.
especially the saxophone, right? Oh,
Oh, the saxophone just hits different. It's just so
I
it's so good. It's
I
just
love
like
the saxophone. Yeah, I love the
yeah.
saxophone. All right. If you're gonna go out, are you gonna go to? Are you gonna watch the TV? Are you gonna go to a theater? Are you gonna do a concert? Are you gonna go to a bar? Are you gonna go to a karaoke? Or are you gonna go to opera or musical theater?
I'm going to a concert. I'm a huge concert head. I go to like I don't go party. I go to concerts. I've never been to a
Mhm.
club in my life, but I've been to like 25 concerts, like a lot of
Right.
concerts, and most of them are smaller artists who are just like hitting their break.
Yeah.
Um, and in my mind, like sometimes I just fixate on an artist who hasn't like hit it big yet, but in my mind, they're the biggest thing ever. And
They're
I go,
they're on that borderline. You can see it. They're
yeah,
gonna happen. They're gonna happen. There
that's it.
was an artist, Sarah McLachlan, that
Yes.
did this whole series of concerts across Canada, and I went. It was called Lilith Fair,
Yeah.
and her whole idea was to embrace and support other female artists. And
So
so
great.
she shared the stage with all of these up and
Wow.
coming compilation with everybody with her name, her brand, her label behind it.
That's just incredible. She
And
gave them an opportunity of a
oh,
lifetime.
yeah, yeah, she did. And I mean, for an artist to do that for other artists, I was like, that to me was the most magic concert I have ever been to.
You were
There was
there?
food. Oh yeah, yeah, I went
Wow.
definitely. Oh yeah, I was in 100%. Me and my girlfriends, we took a beautiful picnic. Right,
Yeah.
we packed pasta salad, cold chicken,
That
and
sounds really good.
but the funniest thing was, we did this bad thing. We took vodka in with us, so we could have
Wow.
vodka and cranberry juice. Well, vodka doesn't have a smell, so if you put it in water bottles, so we put the vodka in the water bottle, and then we put.
That's funny. That is funny. Hey, whatever makes you happy.
That was really naughty. But no, seriously, she had merchandise, there was crafts, everything in the whole fair was made by women. So you could buy jewelry, you could buy t-shirts, you could buy food,
That's
you know,
beautiful.
and some of the songs and some of the artists, they were heartfelt, but it was like a full day, a full
Wow.
day. And we're all a bunch of ladies getting together. There was no trouble, no riots, just connecting with
I
other
love the way
people.
that I love the way that feels. I love sharing the stage with other girls. Like it just feels
Yeah,
so great. Like it feels
yeah,
like it's very united, because as a female guitarist, you don't really see many girls who play guitar much. And
right.
recently I was at my friend's release party and I was invited to play karaoke with her band. And her guitarist, get this straight, not only was she a girl who was absolutely shredding the guitar, not only did she have curly hair, but her name was Rachel.
No way.
And it was like, come on. Our, like This is who I want to be. This is who I'm aspiring to be. And you have my name, so maybe like are you me in the future? Is this coincidence? That was really fun. But tomorrow, actually, I'm playing a big show that I'm super excited about. I'm opening for an artist named Siobhan Badrug on her
Sweet.
Canadian tour. It's the first time that I'm opening for someone on tour ever.
Nice.
So I'm very excited for that. Her tour is called Two Makes One a Thing. And I'm opening for her, but there's also another opening act. Her name is Tiffany Love. She's a Montreal and Toronto-based artist.
Hmm.
And she had reached out to Siobhan and I asking if we know a guitarist, a Montreal-based guitarist who can accompany her. And I said, hey, I got you. I've done this before. I can learn all your stuff. And so I'm going to be her guitarist right after my set. And I'm looking forward to that. We actually have a rehearsal tonight.
Yay! That's great
Thank
news,
you.
Rachel.
I appreciate it. I'm very excited for this show. I have been for a while.
Nice. Where is the show? Where can we see you?
It's at a venue called Escogriffe. It's actually a bar. It's the first time no, that's a lie. I've played shows in a bar before, but it is the first time I've played in that bar. I'm very new to playing in bars. I haven't really played in many bars, so I'm
Well, you,
excited.
you haven't really been old enough to play in bars yet, so.
No, but in the US, the laws are different, so I was able to play in
Oh,
bars when I was 17.
nice.
As long as you have a parent there, it's legal.
Oh,
As long
okay,
as they're
cool.
not serving you alcohol. But yeah, no, I don't really go to bars much because I don't really drink. So, other than playing shows, I don't get a chance to step into a bar and just hang out.
There you go. Okay, so I'm going to switch back into what entertains you, Rachel.
Yes.
We're going to step away from being the entertainer. What entertains you?
What
Okay,
entertains me?
do you like art?
I love art. I'm very passionate about art. Growing up, I was in multiple different art programs. I used to paint a lot, actually. I have a
Nice.
painting on my wall right over there that I painted. Around my room, I have
We
paintings
can't.
that I've painted in the past. I know you can't see, but like if you watch my videos, if I'm ever in my room, you see some paintings around, I've probably
Uh,
painted them for fun.
nice. I didn't know that.
Very, yeah, I
You
haven't
should
done it in a while, but it's still fun.
you should put it in your YouTube comments and maybe make some prints for us.
Oh, that'd be cool. I if
Yeah.
hey, if I ever get back into it, it would definitely be worth it. But growing up, I also was very into drawing. I used to doodle eyes all over my schoolwork, literally
The
through
eyes
all
really
throughout
have it,
college.
don't they?
Yeah, I like drawing eyes. I like drawing faces. That's my favorite thing to draw.
Nice, nice. In terms of fashion, what do you like? Comfort or high fashion? Are you going to wear
Um,
flats or high heels?
I'm very into streetwear. I'm very into clothing that kind of changes your shape. I like alternative fashion. I find it very, very eye-catching, and I like grunge fashion as well. I'm very into thrifting my clothes. I like getting my clothes secondhand, but
Hmm.
I also like to pair my secondhand clothes with like brand new clothes from Garage. I love that store. And here's the thing, I've tried to find my fashion sense recently, and I've realized that like I want to be a different thing on a different day, but at the end of the day, I always look like myself. And I've realized that some clothes, as nice as they are, I don't really feel comfortable in them. And I've just been finding what I like to wear, and I realized I like clothes that make you look badass. I like clothes that look like a rock star. I just like alternative fashion. That's it. I like big Doc Martens. I like Demonia shoes. I don't own any, but I own 3 pairs of Doc Martens. I own 9 pairs of Converse. High heels, they're really nice, but I'm duck-footed, so they don't really suit me. It kind of looks like, it just looks off when I wear heels. So I like big, chunky shoes.
Nice. So, next question is, when you go out, are you somebody that is more of a nature girl or a city girl?
City, 100%.
City?
I love the nature. I feel like I like doing nature with my family and city with my friends. That's how it is. I love the nature, but
Yeah.
I've had some experiences with the nature that haven't been too great. So
Uh-oh.
I've been kind of stepping away from the nature recently and back into the city. But hey, I do love them both. I just prefer the city. I feel more comfortable in the city, but there's pros and cons to either or. I love being outside. I just love being out.
Nice. So if you're taking a vacation or you're going to go on a break for tourism, are you
Yeah,
more likely to select a local place, a regional place, or an international place?
tropical. I love tropical destinations. I actually just got back from Panama with my
Nice.
family recently. We don't do much international traveling. I drive a lot with my dad, but we haven't gone on a family vacation in 11 years. I have a little sister and she had never seen the beach. She had never seen the ocean up until now. And we planned this trip to Panama to a beautiful resort and I just felt so just so peaceful there. And we also went into the city and got to meet a lot of Panamanians, and I think it's just so beautiful. And the locals are just so sweet people who want to share their culture with us. And I feel very grateful to have had that experience and to have met people and to have made friends there. And it was super fun. And they have a huge mall there, so that was great.
Nice. That does sound amazing. What language do they speak in Panama?
They speak Spanish.
Oh, do you know any Spanish?
I know a bit of Spanish, but like very, very little Spanish, but not that much. Like I'm not conversational, but because it's very similar to French, I can understand Spanish if I'm reading it because I'm fluent in
Mm-hmm.
French. But I
Right.
cannot really speak it much. Like I can really do basic.
How about Italian? Can you understand
I don't
Italian?
know any Italian. I cannot understand any Italian.
Well, the Romance languages are French,
Yeah,
Spanish, and Italian, and a lot of the roots are similar. That's and
yeah.
Marco is Italian. Yes, and
Oh,
Marco
Oh
here
yeah.
is Cape.
very, very cool. Buongiorno. That's about all I know. Yeah,
And grazie.
that's it.
All right. So
Speaking of Italian. I did want to say, I am sponsored by an Italian hair care brand.
there you go.
They're called Di
Why don't you
Tommaso.
tell us about your sponsors?
Yeah, so there we go. I got Di Tommaso's. I have Magic Copy and Boutique ABC. But Di Tommaso's, basically to start off with Di Tommaso's, they are a Montreal-based, but also based in New York and Toronto and Italy, all of Italy. They're a hair care brand product, and they work with multiple different hair types. And I have curly hair, so they make products also specifically for curly hair, and it's very, very helpful. It's the only thing that makes my hair shiny and the only thing that I can detangle it with and that doesn't weigh down my hair. So I obviously wanted, and like I was like, if I want to work with any hair care product, any hair care brand, I want to work with them. They're great.
Nice. You're going back into your vacation mode here. Where would you say your
Yeah.
favorite vacation place was?
Panama. Panama was incredible.
Nice.
Yes. I've been there twice. I went there when I was 7 as well.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah,
Nice.
Panama City.
Sweet. All right. And I know that you're from Montreal, Quebec.
I
So
am.
you're Canadian, eh?
Yes, I am.
So where can we find your music
Find
and
my
your
music
shows?
on all platforms. My music is on all platforms, but better idea if you want to check out everything I do. So my music, my list of shows, my social media, racheldara.com has literally everything. You'll see about me, you'll see links to my music, you'll see links to my social media, and you'll see a list in the event section of the website of my upcoming shows. But that's also on Facebook and Instagram as well. So
Nice.
everything is everywhere.
And we can stream you, of course, on
Spotify,
Spotify.
Apple Music, Amazon Music, every single random streaming platform that you could think of, I'm there.
All right. Wonderful. Any closing thoughts for today's interview?
I just wanted to thank you, Tara and Marco, for having me on because I just really love talking to you. I love feeling included in the music scene, and I'm very grateful that you've given me this opportunity to be here.
Well, you're part of our family with
Thank you.
bigrecords.world. You can also find Rachel Dara on bigrecords.world as an artist in her bio and links there as well. So we really appreciate having you as part of this family and watching you grow, as from a teenager up, right? So it's a special journey and we really appreciate you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate you, and I feel very honored to be in your journey as well, and to see you both growing, and to see where you all are going. I saw Marco, your top song on Spotify. I think it hit 11,000 streams. That's big. That's really, really cool and so well deserving.
Yeah, congratulations, Marco.
Thank you.
We love Marco's music. He's amazing.
He really is. And so are you, Tara.
Thank you so much. No, I really believe that, as a community of artists, we all grow and we all become more successful when we take the time to lift each other up and to devote our attention and our energy into each other and grow together, and I'm just so honored and blessed to be part of this music community with everybody.
That's 100% it. And so am I. I'm honored to be able to grow as an artist because being surrounded by artists makes me feel like a real artist. Going back to that final thought. That's my final thought.
Okay, well, Rachel Dara, you are a real artist, and we're so grateful to have spent this last hour with you. Thank you so much for sharing your passion about music and fashion and art. It was really fun to get a chance to get to know you, Rachel.
I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And it was great to get to know you a bit as well. I got to know you a little bit more than I already did.
Thank you, Rachel. So we have a tagline for the show.
Yes.
Okay?
Tell me.
I'm gonna say it and maybe we can say it together. So it's
all right.
I see, you see, we see, grazie.
I see, you see, we see, grazie.
Bueno. Grazie.
Is that it? Did I get it right?
Yeah, you did. So thank you very much to everybody who is tuned in to see us and to meet Rachel Dara. You can find Rachel Dara at www.racheldara.com, www.bigrecords.world. And I thank you very much for tuning in to ICFB STAR Entertainment with fearescape, Tarakai, and Rachel Dara. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, or maybe even a great night, wherever it is that you are at.
Have a great night.